Hey everyone, happy Thursday. It's Joe. It's time for Pikkit with Joe. I hope everyone's having an incredible day. Now we have what feels like a million games on the slate in the NHL today as we wrap up the season. A couple games still on the board tomorrow, but a lot of these teams headed golfing and a lot of the teams looking forward to Monday as the playoffs kick off. So I'm going to break down these games, give you my best bets and leans in all of these games. So if you're looking to have some action, I will be talking every single game on the board. Am I betting every single one? Absolutely not. But I definitely have a lot of games that I'm liking some action on. You guys, Jack Hughes right away. I'm just going to mention it for the New Jersey Devils. His first hat trick came against the team they are playing today. So look at Jack Hughes today, just a little bit, tidbit of information of a bet that I've given out to my clients. So let's look at everything we've got happening today. Now, Vegas is in a really interesting spot. So are the Edmonton Oilers, first and second in the Pacific. So we're really going to focus on both of these teams and their games today. Vegas needs to get the win. Can they push it to overtime and still get the Pacific? Absolutely. They're taking on the Seattle Kraken. Definitely a possibility for the Kraken, who are sitting fourth in that wild card position, to really want to get this win as well. So could this one go to overtime? Absolutely. That is a look ahead for that. The Kings sitting nice and third in the Pacific with 102 points. They are not going to move no matter what happens in their game today. So Vegas first in the Pacific at 109. Edmonton, 107 points. All they need to do is they need to get in regulation or the OT win, and Vegas to lose to take the Pacific. Vegas, on the other hand, can take this to OT, get the 1 point. They need 1 point no matter what to win the Pacific. Looking at the Central Division, we have a battle as well. The Dallas Stars taking on the Colorado Avalanche. The Wild sitting nice and solid in third with 102 points. The Avs sitting 105 points, and the Dallas Stars sitting 106. So the Dallas Stars need to win today to hold the Central Division. The Colorado Avs need to win it to look to take the Central Division. So that is going to be an interesting one. The Eastern Conference wildcard with the New York Islanders with 93 points, the Florida Panthers with 92. Look for a big game out of the Florida Panthers today. I do think they get the win. And looking at the Metro Division, we have the Carolina Hurricanes, the New Jersey Devils, and the New York Rangers, all within a couple points of each other. The Rangers are locked in that 3 seed, but there is a battle between the Carolina Hurricanes and the New Jersey Devils. You guys know my money is on the Devils to take the Metro. Like I said, Jack Hughes getting his hat trick versus this team they're playing today. I do think the Devils have every opportunity to win. Carolina's been a strong road team. How hard they are going to dig in today's game versus the Florida Panthers is another question mark here. So Carolina, I do think they want home ice advantage, though, sitting with 111 points right now. The New Jersey Devils 110. So this is important games for both of those teams. And the Atlantic, you guys, Boston, nothing to play for. Huge sprinkle on the Montreal Canadiens on that money line. We will break down all of these games as we go through. I just wanted to give you a quick overlook of what we're seeing right now as we wrap up this season. So the Boston Bruins, 133 freaking points for this team. I didn't expect this team to play so strong this season. They've absolutely dominated. If you had their win total to the over, congratulations to anyone there. Now, between the second and the third seed, there's no movement in the Atlantic. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs sitting with 109 and the Tampa Bay Lightning with 96. So the Atlantic Division, not much to play for these teams playing today. The Metro has something to play for the first seed. Florida Panthers have a lot to play for. So do the Islanders. The Central has a lot to play for as well between the Dallas Stars, Colorado Avalanche, and the Pacific between Vegas and Edmonton. Well, one of those years, things are really open right now. So late in the regular season, to say the least. So let's start looking at these games, breaking these ones down. I want to welcome you all to the show. Let's make some frickin' money today. Appreciate each and every one of you here. Kings -1.5 the last time the end of the season. God, I love the Kings today. Could Corvusalo get us another shutout? This is my biggest question of the day. I don't know. I might be sprinkling on it again, you guys. We made money with him in the last game versus Vancouver. I will give a 2-team parlay just for you, Edward, at the end. Edward, for the 2-team parlay. I'm making a note so I don't forget. If you can't stick around, come back after the show. I will put it towards the end of the show. Good afternoon to each and every one of you. You're going to ride with the Devils, Predators, Stars. First period, 3-way, all good plus money. I like it. I wish you all the best in all of your bets. So we'll kick off with the first game at 7 o'clock Eastern here between the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. Swordman is confirmed here for the Boston Bruins and Sam Montague confirmed for the Montreal Canadiens. And yes, he played last night. I did not expect this. He played phenomenally last night. He went over his saved goals by 1. So it was really nice to see. And I do think he comes out strong again. Like I've always said, I really do appreciate the talent of Sam Montague. Maybe he's not the best goalie in the league, but he's a goalie in certain situations. High danger shots that he's able to save. I've been really impressed by him. So I do think this is another solid game here for Sam Montague. I expect a solid game out of the Montreal Canadiens. They are their last home game here. They're playing for pride. They're not playing for anything else. I know a lot of people believe that teams want to tank for the draft. And, you know, guys, I really struggle with that notion because you have so many players on this team that are playing. They want to impress. One, for their fans. They're at home in this game. Also for their contracts and their family and their pride. So I can't fade the Montreal Canadiens in this. Boston, who knows who the heck will get out on that ice. They just don't want to get injured at this point. And yes, could the Boston Bruins absolutely come out, win this game 2-0? For sure they can. They could get those quick 2 easy goals and then play keep away. Like we saw them do a little bit versus Red Wings in that game after they clinched the Atlantic. But I do expect Montreal to bring their A game. Look to play upset at plus 270 on that money line. You guys know I am sprinkling. There's money going on that puck line plus 1.5 at plus 110. I had to hit it. That did go out to my clients. I really do think Montreal has every opportunity to come out, keep this one tight, and pull off the upset at home. I really doubt if the Boston Bruins play their starters in this game. So if they don't play their starters, they just play a little bit of keep away. We could see this one staying under that total if we see them come out strong in that first period. And that's why I'm not looking at Montreal in the first period. We might see Boston come out and then Montreal just hang in this game. We could see this going over. So no thoughts on that total, you guys. The next game on the board, the Carolina Hurricanes taking on the Florida Panthers. Now, Anderson is expected here for Carolina. This is a pick'em game, -110 for both sides, but shop those lines because I have seen -105s for either of these teams. So the books do have a lot of variation in this line. Total of 6.5. Now looking at this game, the Florida Panthers, I think, will be the team who gets this win. Now, we see the Carolina Hurricanes 1-point lead over the New Jersey Devils. Okay, so the Canes have been a solid road team. Do they need this win as badly as the Florida Panthers? I don't think so. When we look at the Florida Panthers, it's really interesting to look at the playoff schedule. So if they get the win today, the Florida Panthers will face the winner of the Metro Division. If they don't get the win, they will face the Boston Bruins. Now, the Islanders' fate relies on what the Carolina Panthers do here. Florida Panthers do here, not the Carolina Panthers. Carolina, the Canes, they will be second in the Metro if they lose this, and the Devils win their game tonight. The Florida Panthers, if they win this game, won't have to face the Boston Bruins in the first round of the playoffs. They will face either Carolina or the New Jersey Devils, depending on which team takes the Metro. Now, it's better for the Florida Panthers to face the winner of the Metro than it is the Boston Bruins. The Islanders will face the Boston Bruins if the Panthers are able to win this game tonight. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. No one wants to take on Boston. So I do think we get Florida here at home. And I think it's going to be a really good game here. This total's high, you guys. It is at 6.5. I've seen 7s out there. I do think we can get an over in the first period, over the 1.5, but I'm a little cautious of that because we have seen the Florida Panthers really lock down defensively as of late. Leon is in goal for them. So I would stay out the total. I'm just looking at the Florida Panthers here. I do think the full game goes under that 6.5. So best bet on that total would be under 6.5 for the full game. That first period, it could go over the 1.5, but that's the only high scoring period I would see if we did see goals in this one. I do think the under is the way to go with the total. The Detroit Red Wings and the Tampa Bay Lightning. This game is at 7 o'clock Eastern here. Total 6.5. Tampa minus 240. It's a yucky price there, plus 200 for the Red Wings. I do think this is one where it's a tighter game. This is the last game before the playoffs of the Tampa Bay Lightning. They kind of cruise every single year into the playoffs, not really giving any game 100%. They've lost their last 4. The Red Wings also have lost their last 4. Now, the Tampa Bay Lightning sitting solid in that 3 seed, so there's no movement no matter what happens in this game. Grabbing the Detroit Red Wings plus 1.5. This team's playing for pride. If you want to bet it, I would take the Red Wings puck line. I wouldn't take the Lightning on the puck line. Could they come out and just dominate in this game, win it 3-0? Absolutely. It's just not something I want to bet on, is a team that really has no motivation for the win, other than if they decide to really get things back in the groove here. They've lost their last 4, you guys. I would have expected that in their last game, not able to win that last game. They are sitting nice and third in the Atlantic, like I said. This is just a don't get hurt game here. So not my favorite game to bet tonight at all. But the Red Wings, we know they have played some scrappy hockey, so they could get things done here. We are going to look at goalie props for sure. We'll look at those later. Possible Florida first period. Tie first period, Kelly. Yeah, you could look at that. Carolina has struggled to score some goals as of late. If that is a tie in the first period, I think it's a 0-0 tie in that first period. So I like the under 1.5 better than the tie in the first period. But I wish you all the best with that. Could it be 1-1? Absolutely. But I think the Florida Panthers, how they have stepped up defensively, we probably do see that under 6.5 in that game. Okay, you guys, let's move on to the next game. Yeah, looking at that goalie matchup, it is Brian Elliott for the Tampa Bay Lightning and Billy Husso confirmed for the Detroit Red Wings. Yeah, we have both of those backup goalies in. The last game of the season, though, for the Red Wings, we see a lot out of these teams in their last game. Let's talk about a more meaningful one. The New Jersey Devils taking on the Washington Capitals. Vanacek is expected for the New Jersey Devils, and Darcy Kemper is confirmed for the Washington Capitals. Now, Ovi will be playing for the Capitals. This is a total of 6.5. The Capitals looking to play upset on their home ice, plus 150. Dogs, you guys know how tempting that is for me to get behind the Washington Capitals, especially when we look at the Washington Capitals. This is a team that isn't making the playoffs. This is their last game. They're on home ice. I just can't. I'm going to take Ovechkin here. to give us that anytime goal. I do think the Devils, with chasing the Carolina Hurricanes in the Metro, give us an absolutely outstanding performance. Now, the Devils' way of winning games isn't to lock down teams defensively. With Ovechkin really pushing out there, I can't see this being a lower scoring one. I expect it to go over the total of 6.5. I do expect this to be a 4-3 win for the New Jersey Devils, and that's why I can't get behind the New Jersey Devils on that puck line, because I think it's that tight of a game. Could this one go to overtime? Absolutely, this could go to overtime. So I do like that bet here. I also like the over 3.5 at -122 for the team total of the New Jersey Devils. I think we see the goals coming in. It's the only way I think the Devils can win this game is for it to be a higher scoring one. I don't see them being able to lock down. I don't see them being able to contain Ovechkin on his last night playing tonight of the season at home. So I do expect this one to go over that total. The last time these teams played, though, it was a lower scoring one, the Devils winning 3-2. Just need one more goal out of both of these teams. Now, this is Jack Hughes's game. That the last time out, he got 3 goals versus this team. So I do think Jack Hughes for the anytime goal absolutely is a moneymaker today. We're not taking for the hat trick, just take him for the anytime goal, and then take on the opposite side Ovechkin for the anytime goal. I do expect this one to cruise nicely over that total. And I know these teams, the Devils, need to start locking down defensively going into the playoffs. We haven't seen it, you guys. Vanacek is such an outstanding goalie. The way the Devils have been winning these games is higher scoring ones. The Devils team total over 3.5, I like way better than the Washington Capitals, but to count on the Washington Capitals, because I do expect this one to go over 6.5, but it's the Devils who I expect to get those 4 goals. If we see 4 goals out of the Devils and they do somehow lock down defensively, Vanacek comes out absolutely incredible. Could we only see that 1 goal out of Ovechkin? Absolutely. So that's why I lean more on that team total over 3.5 than the full game. Crosby, 3+ shots on goal tonight. I like that. Edmonton, New Jersey. It's a chalky 3-team parlay at +185, though, Edward. I don't mind that there at all. I get cautious with Edmonton, but they are fighting for the Pacific, so we should get the best out of them in this one. Edmonton seems to just bite me whenever I trust them. So we'll get to that game in a minute. Let's look at the Ottawa Senators taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Meaningless for both of these teams. Neither team has anywhere to go except for the golf course after this. I really love what I saw out of the Ottawa Senators this year and how they really dug deep. Brady Tkachuk was absolutely phenomenal, and I do think they will have a brighter future moving forward. If you're looking for a goal scorer from the Ottawa Senators tonight, I'd look at Brady Tkachuk. But I do think the Buffalo Sabres get this win. Matt Sogaard is confirmed for the Ottawa Senators. They're coming in at +120. The Buffalo Sabres, it's juicy on that money line at -140, but I do think it is the right side to go. Battle of the Atlantic here, and the Buffalo Sabres on home ice. This is their last home game. It's not their last game of the season. They do face Columbus tomorrow. I expect Columbus to get the win tomorrow. I expect Buffalo to give their best effort to their home fans tonight, and I do expect this one to, well, that first period, I would go over 1.5. I do both teams to score in the first period as well. With a total of 7, I really don't want to touch it. But that being said, could this be a 5-4 win for the Buffalo Sabres as defense is completely let down? Absolutely, it could be. So I'm going to stay off that total. I'm going to hit Buffalo at -140. I'm going to hit both teams to score in the first period in the over 1.5, expecting the majority of the goals in that first period. Okay, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, like I said, Columbus has another game on deck tomorrow. It is at home. I expect the best effort out of Columbus tomorrow, but I do expect them to come in here tonight and get some goals on the board. Johnny Gaudreau can't be happy with how his season's ended, but I'm sure he's happy that he wasn't in Calgary either, with Calgary's season ending last night. Maybe on a high note, but still bad season overall. You guys, I was at the game. Fantastic game. Wolf, the goalie brought up from the AHL. Keep your eye on him for next season. He played absolutely phenomenal. If you watch AHL hockey, he is with the Calgary Wranglers. He is He came up for the game, back down for the game. Their playoffs starting soon. So maybe I'll drop some AHL bets for you guys. Actually, I don't even know if we can really bet it very much. Very select books will carry any AHL. But let's talk the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, the Penguins. We were riding their team total over 3.5 in their last game versus Chicago Blackhawks in a game that they had to win. What were they on the money line? It was like almost minus 600 money line favorites. They lost that game. Must win games, I tell you, bite some of these teams. So the Pittsburgh Penguins are not making the playoffs in what feels like an eternity. I don't remember the last time the Pittsburgh Penguins didn't make the playoffs. This team, how will they come out? Will they come out defeated? I don't know. Will they want to end the season strong? Absolutely, they might. But will they come? I worry that the deflation in their hearts of not making the playoffs, we might just get a team going through the motions here. What I do know is we will get a goal out of Sidney Crosby, and that is where I'm putting my money. He has been strong against the Blue Jackets. He scored those goals against them, and I do expect him to come here and hit Hutchinson. I do expect this one to go over that total of 6.5. I expect no defense out of either of these teams. Give me the over 6.5. Give me the first period over 1.5. Give me the first period, both teams to score. With Jari's confirmed, so I prefer the over 1.5. I do think Jari comes out and has a decent night here, but I could see both teams scoring in that first period as well. So it's just going to be one of those games, you guys. High scoring. Give me the goals. Let's look at the next game here. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the New York Rangers. Like I said, these teams locked in their position. The Leafs second in the Atlantic. The Rangers third in the Metro. No one needs this win tonight to move them in the seeding. This is the last game before the playoffs for both of these teams. No one has to play that extra game tomorrow. Will confirmed in goal here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, the last time he came out versus the Lightning, he was strong. Halleck expected for the New York Rangers. If you want to bet this game, the trends I would look at is the Maple Leafs have struggled in the Garden. They're only 1-4 in the last 5 in New York. So that is one thing to consider here. The home team has had a home ice advantage between these two, winning the last 4. I would put the value on the Rangers at minus 125 at home. Is this a game I'm going to bet? No. I don't think there's any value in betting two teams ending the season here with nothing to play for. They're sitting solid. Both of these teams, they just don't want to get hurt. They don't want to take injury. I don't know what we're going to get out of either side. Who wants this win? Who really cares if they win this game? All I think these teams care about is not getting hurt in this one. So be very cautious with this game, whichever way you're going. There is value on the Maple Leafs at plus 105, but I do think the Rangers at home in the Garden get this win. The Minnesota Wild and the Nashville Predators. This is a battle of the Central here. So just to look back on that Central division, you guys, we have the Dallas Stars at 106 points, the Colorado Avalanche at 105, the Minnesota Wild at 102. So if they win this tonight, get 2 points, they're at 104. They're still not going to catch anyone here. So while they say the seeding isn't tied up, it really is. I don't know how the Wild could ever catch the Avs. They're 1 point behind that. Gustafsson is confirmed here for the Minnesota Wild. The Preds starting Aceros. I do think with how the Predators have played at home versus the Minnesota Wild, even though the Predators are not going anywhere, not making the playoffs this season, they have one more game on deck. This is the last game for the Wild. I think this is the Preds at home. Get this win tonight, minus 115. I think it is worth some value. Now, these two teams trend to that over, but neither of these teams has been scoring a lot of goals. So I cannot bet this one over. I would look at that under. The Wild have gone 3-11 in the last 14 meetings versus the Predators, and the home team 15-5 in the last 20 meetings, and the Preds winning 9 of the last 10 at home versus the Wild. So I got to go. This is the first time for the Predators missing the playoffs in 9 seasons. So between the Penguins and the Predators, really shocking to see both of these teams missing the playoffs here. Okay. If Columbus gets a single point these last 2 games, it cuts their first round chances by 37%. They're tanking. Okay. Lessman, I completely hear you on that, but you can't actually make these players out on the ice tank. Ownership wants them to tank. Coaches want them to tank. These players, they play with heart and they come out, they have contracts. So I don't know if anyone has, and I didn't look into this. It's actually something I'm kicking myself right now when we look at this. Any player that's looking for that extra goal or something, make sure you look into that for their contracts, for bonuses and everything, because I should have looked into that before this show. These players have, in a lot of cases, something to play for. But Columbus, I just can't see them pulling off this win tonight. Could they win it tomorrow? Maybe. The goals will come in this Columbus game. So we'll see what happens with that one. I just don't think you can actually get a player to tank. There's no incentive for a player to tank. Their stats and everything go way off if they tank. I would actually look at these teams that, like Montreal, if Montreal can pull off the upset versus the Boston Bruins, it's something that goes on Montreal's record. These players know that they came out and beat Boston at the end. Yes, it's a little bit of a, well, Boston was not playing anyone, but still something players look forward to doing. So look at Sidney Crosby for that anytime goal tonight. I do think he comes out strong for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I lean to the over 6.5 in this one. I look at first period, over 1.5. And I'm not sure if I'd take both teams to score. But back to that Nashville Predators game. Got to ride with the Predators there. They're going to be upset. They missed the playoffs, and they're going to put on a show for their home crowd. The Winnipeg Jets and the Colorado Avalanche. Again, the Avs playing for something here. Winnipeg has made the playoffs. Congratulations to the Winnipeg Jets. Colorado sitting second in the Central, chasing the Dallas Stars. So they're trying to get the Central wrapped up. They're playing solid in the West. I look for them to win it tonight. They're just too juicy on that money line. So looking at the money line for the Colorado Avalanche, they're minus 190. So we got to find a way for them to come out and get the win. Now, David Reach is confirmed in goal for the Winnipeg Jets, which is a scary situation, you guys, because I don't know how he's going to come out tonight. He has not played in maybe 2 or 3, probably 3 weeks now. And I think he will come out a little rusty, which works to our advantage because I do like Colorado to get the win tonight. I'm going to take Colorado in that first period on that puck line, laying the half a goal. It's actually beautiful plus money, which actually scares me a little bit. We're getting it at plus 130 for the Colorado Avalanche, laying the half a goal. But I do expect them to come in, come out solid to start this game, score fast on David Reach here, and get up in that first period. I think they win this. I just can't. I don't know if I'd bet them in regulation. I do think Winnipeg is going to play strong. I like that first period better than anything, Kelly, but I do think in regulation is a better bet than laying the money line at minus 190. The next game on the board, we have the St. Louis Blues taking on the Dallas Stars. Now, like I said, the Avs and the Stars fighting for that central position. The Dallas Stars sitting first overall right now. Jake Ottinger likely in goal for them, minus 225 over the St. Louis Blues. St. Louis has confirmed Jordan Binnington in goal. Now, while, Jordan Binnington came back from suspension and I expected him to really play hard because at the end of the day, he's really fighting for his life in Columbus or in St. Louis. I don't know what they're going to do with Jordan Binnington because he's such a hothead wild card. I don't think the St. Louis Blues want him anymore, but I don't think they can get out of having him. So looking at St. Louis, they're 5-4-1 in their last 10. This team is ready to go golfing. And the Dallas Stars have been rolling hot, 8-2 in their last 10 games. So what I'm going to look at in this one is I do think these goals are coming in versus Jordan Binnington. I'm going to fade him here. The Dallas Stars team total Over 3.5, it's juicy at minus 146, but I do think they get 4 goals in this. Could this be a 4-2 win with the Dallas Stars covering the puck line? Absolutely. But could Dallas get kind of complacent at the very end if the St. Louis Blues get that extra goal and then they play keep away? That could happen as well. So I don't like the puck line in this situation when all Dallas has to do is win this game. Too juicy on that money line at minus 255. So that is why I am hitting that team total over 3.5. I do lean to the full game over 6.5 with Jordan Binnington. If you can find the 6 out there, that is much better. But I think the first period over 1.5 is a really solid way to go. The last time these two teams played each other, both teams got 2 goals in that first period. So if you want to take it over even 2, I would feel still comfortable with that. But that being said, I do think we have a strong performance out of Jake Ottinger. He is in goal tonight, so I like the over 1.5. A hell of a lot better here, and hoping the Dallas Stars just score both of those goals. Yeah, Winnipeg probably will sit a lot of people here. And this is the problem. So you've always got to look at those lineups because even right before. So we are at 449. A lot of these lineups, we have some of them saying some people are out. We're going to see a lot more people out for a lot of these teams. So especially the Boston Bruins, you guys. That would be my biggest concern of the night. Winnipeg, next man up kind of situation because Winnipeg's sitting in a wild card spot. I feel more confident in a team like Montreal that has nothing left to play for, where we look at the Winnipeg Jets and that next man up going into the playoffs, you're going to have these guys saying, Coach, give me a shot. So we're going to see Winnipeg really digging deep in that, but Colorado should get a nice win in that. I'm just a little hesitant on that puck line when we have so much to play for. So Winnipeg will still dig deep, even with players sitting. The Philadelphia Flyers and the Chicago Blackhawks, 8:30 Eastern, total of 6. Chicago, the home dog at plus 100, the Philadelphia Flyers at minus 120. Both of these teams headed out on vacation or the golf course tomorrow. The Flyers have struggled in Chicago, only winning 4 of the last 13 meetings in Chicago, but they are 6-2 in the last 8 meetings overall. That being said, we've got a Chicago Blackhawks team that is pretty high and confident in themselves after destroying the Penguins' ability to get to the playoffs. I think Chicago at home, give me the home dog in this one at plus 100. The value is there. The home team between these two has gone 22-6 in the last 28 meetings. You can tell me Chicago wants to tank for the lottery. I'm not believing the players do. Could the Flyers come out and win this? Absolutely. Carter Hart expected in goal. Alex Stalock expected here for the Chicago Blackhawks, but you give me even the coaches throw in different lineups. You got players fighting for contracts for next season. You got young players wanting to be on starting lineups. I think we get a hell of a game out of the Chicago Blackhawks. They roll with momentum here. So I'd rather put my money on them than a Philadelphia Flyers team that has been all over the place that I cannot trust. So that is where I'm going with that one. Yeah, his last game in Chicago. So look at him for the anytime goal as well, Matt. It's a very good point there. Yeah, lots missing from the Jets lineup. But you guys, next man up is scary. The Avs should dominate in that game, but I wouldn't take the puck line. I would look at that first period domination there. Winston, shout out to you. Thanks for being here today. Okay, guys, let's look at the next game on the board. We have the San Jose Sharks taking on the Edmonton Oilers. Now, Edmonton needs this win in regulation and Vegas to lose to take the Pacific. Skinner expected in goal for the Edmonton Oilers. The San Jose Sharks starting James Reimer. We have plus 380 for the San Jose Sharks, minus 475. I've seen this up to minus 555 on some books for the Edmonton Oilers, expecting the Oilers to just dominate in this game, but that's what they should do. Edmonton should come out. They should get a nice win to give themselves the ability to win the Pacific. Last game of the season for the San Jose Sharks. So we'll see what they've got here. They've been on the road. They've lost their last 5 games. I believe the last 3 have been on the road. The Sharks are ready to get back home. How much effort are we going to get out of them? Well, I think the first period effort will be enough out of the Sharks for us to go over the 1.5 and to get both teams to score in the first period. After that, I think Edmonton probably runs away with it. As we get deeper into this game, the Sharks get more into the mentality of how much longer till we get to go home. Now, I watched the Sharks play Calgary last night, and they came out decent versus Calgary. They went up in that first period. Both did an excellent job of getting these block shots, or blocking the goals from coming in. But Calgary also did a good job of getting block shots. Now, their goalie last night was able to stop I think the Sharks or Calgary put up 51 shots against him, but James Reimer in goal tonight. So this will be a tired Sharks team ready to go home. Edmonton should dominate. That being said, I love the ability of any dog to play upset. So I can't lay the 2.5 with Edmonton. It just seems like too many in a game where if Edmonton gets up, I think they will play like the Boston Bruins and play keep away here. Because at the end of the day, Edmonton can't risk getting hurt going into the playoffs either. Do they want this win? Yes. But this is one I'd be very cautious of that puck line. That being said, do I think they cover it? Absolutely, I do. Edmonton is the dominant team. Like I said, the Sharks on the back-to-back, they've been on the road. They've been losing all of these games. They're ready to go home. Best bet of this game, I think both teams to score in the first period. The Sharks to sneak one in early on Skinner, and then Edmonton to calm down and remember that they can play both ends of the ice and they can play some defense as of late. So that's where I'm going with that one. Could Skinner get the shutout? I've been toying with that, but I don't think so. I do think the Sharks sneak one in early. Okay, guys, we have 3 more games to go over. We're going to fly through those. We have the LA Kings taking on the Anaheim Ducks. Korpisalo is confirmed, and he is definitely one we're going to look at his save shots on goal. I really want to take him for the shutout again here versus the Anaheim Ducks. But the Kings are locked in that 3 seed. So the Kings themselves, as a team, know exactly where they're sitting in the playoffs. Do they need this win? No. They will face Vegas or Edmonton, depending on who is the number 2 seed in the Pacific. So them coming out here and absolutely steamrolling over the Ducks makes no sense at all. What I do have confidence in is just like the last game, I do think we have a goalie question mark here for the LA Kings. Now, Korpisalo is confirmed again. We have also Copley for this team. With Korpisalo coming out the last couple, I think he is going to be their number 1 goalie to turn to in the playoffs. So I do think we see an absolutely phenomenal showing out of him again today. We know the Anaheim Ducks have not been a team that put up a lot of shots on goal, and the LA Kings have been really decent at limiting the opponent's ability to get these shots. So can we get Korpisalo for 2 shutouts in a row? Frick, you guys, it is worth a sprinkle on that money line for him to get another shutout here. The Ducks have lost each of their last 13 games versus the Western Conference. They've absolutely struggled. The Kings have dominated in Anaheim, winning 5 of their last 6. So it will be a small bet because the chances of a goalie getting back-to-back shutouts is a very hard thing to do. But you guys know that we made enough money on him last time that we can have a little bit of fun with taking him again. So let's look at his ability to get the shutout. It is plus 1,100 again for Korpisalo to get the shutout. Now, his save shots on goal is coming in at 24.5 at minus 106 to the over. The Ducks are going to come with these shots. Now, they don't average a whole lot of shots on goal per game. I think the Kings, we see a little bit of regression with their defenses. I don't think we see everyone playing 100% of this game for the LA Kings. So give me Korpisalo for over 24.5 save shots on goal at minus 106. And you guys know I am absolutely sprinkling. And it's a sprinkle. Don't go big on Korpisalo for another shutout. I would love to see him get it 2 games in a row. It'd be absolutely fantastic. And it would really secure his position going into the playoffs. I do think it is a really solid one to take. The next game on the board and the last game, oh no, we got 2 more on the board. We have the Vancouver Canucks taking on the Arizona Coyotes. Now, meaningless game for both of these teams. No one going into the postseason. We have Vancouver 6th in the Pacific, and the Arizona Coyotes sitting 7th within their division. Now, the only way I can take this, we're getting plus money on the Coyotes at home one more time. Like that Britney song, Hit Me Baby One More Time. Let's hit the Arizona Coyotes with plus money one more time this season. At plus 125, I'm willing to take a bite. I know the Vancouver Canucks have really turned things around with the coaching changes. Their defense has stepped up. Delia expected in goal for them here. Vamelka expected for the Arizona Coyotes. But if I can take a home dog with a team that is 21-15-3-1 at home this season, 24-16 at home on that puck line in Mullet Arena, give me the Arizona Coyotes here to pull off the home upset. We also look at the Canucks in Arizona, 1-4 in their last 5 meetings in Arizona. So I do like it. I think it's the way to go. Arizona Coyotes. The last game on the board, we got the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Seattle Kraken. And now, like I said, Vegas is fighting for the Pacific here. They can win this game in regulation. They can take it to OT. And I believe even if they get the 1 point, they still will take the Pacific. So I'm going to roll with this game to go to overtime because we know the Seattle Kraken are digging nice and deep. So I forgot to, I forget the odds of this game to go to overtime. Let's just see here, you guys. The 2 games to go to overtime tonight, this being the second, plus 350 for OT between Vegas and Seattle. And you know the TV loves these late games going to OT. I really could see it happening. I'm going to ride with Vegas here too. I think they want the Pacific Division so freaking badly that they get the win over the Seattle Kraken. Now these teams just played a couple nights ago. Vegas able to get that 4-1 win. Stayed under that total. I am nervous about this total of 6 because what I see happening in this game, we got a 3-2 style game with Vegas up. We either go to overtime or Vegas scores that empty netter. Either way, it pushes us right on that number of 6. So if I had to bet the total anyway, I would take it over because I do think there's a higher chance of Seattle with a man up getting that extra goal and this one going to OT because Vegas, even if it goes to OT, wins the Pacific with getting that point. So I do think this is a great game to put that plus 350 on the overtime. As for a side, I got to take Vegas here at minus 120. And just because I think it has the opportunity of going to overtime, like I said, I think it's 3-3 if it goes to overtime. That gets us over that total of 6 with that extra goal coming in OT. If it stays, I don't think it stays under. I think it pushes at worst. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bet this game 4-3 for either team as well. I really do think it's Vegas who comes out on top. Do we have any more games? No, that was the last game on the board. Like I said, a ton of freaking games today, you guys. Lots of opportunities to make some money. Last home game for the Coyotes. Let's hit it just one more time, you guys. I can't wait for next season already. I'm getting a little sad as we go into the playoffs. We're going to have some fantastic hockey in the playoffs, but really actually sad that the regular season is coming to an end. This is one of the sports where I don't breathe a sigh of relief when we're done the season and move on to focusing more on other sports. Hockey, you guys know, is my love, is my passion. So I already can't wait for next season. Can't wait to see who gets Connor Bedard. I can't wait to see what happens and all the adjustments they make. Now, as for Calgary, that's going to be some major adjustments. And I don't know what's going to happen there. The crowd last night so against Huberdeau. I actually couldn't believe how much disrespect was being thrown at him from the stands. So Huberdeau got a little bit longer with Calgary. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy off season, that's for sure, with whatever adjustments. I do think, though, you guys, I'm gonna get a Wolf jersey. I really do think he will be brought up full time as a goalie for the Calgary Flames. So that would be exciting to see. He's absolutely phenomenal, but he's small in net. The only thing I don't like to see. He's sitting right around 6 foot. Jacob Markstrom, when he's in net, he's 6'6". So huge difference in size. But we did have a really good night by Wolf last night. Okay, let's recap. Anthony, I'm so glad I made you better as an NHL fan. It is absolutely fantastic watching hockey. I absolutely love it. Jack Eichel is out now. Oh, I tell you, Kelly, this makes me so mad. Jack Eichel is out of this game. It makes me super frustrated because I'm still seeing on my books right before this, and that's one thing that I do chat right before I come on live, looking at those players, trying to get them for those anytime goals to see if they are in, because that normally is a better indicator because the books won't list them if they're out, than trying to find all these beat writers and everything listing players that are out, and some of these lineups that we know can change instantly. It's frustrating. That is for sure. Yeah, I wonder where the Coyotes are playing next year. Talks of a different arena. We'll see what happens. They might even move out of Arizona. They get a lot of disrespect. Good luck, Kelly, to you tonight. Let's do the recap. Let's make some frickin' money. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here every day and really supporting this show. It would not be possible without each and every one of you here. Okay, I just had to get this comment off. Let's build the parlay. It's a dream long shot parlay. We'll build a couple. I know Edward was looking for a 2-teamer, so we'll do that as well. And we'll look at some more goalie props if you guys want to stick around longer. So the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. You guys, I just think everyone's going to be out for the Boston Bruins tonight. What do they have to play for? Swarman probably has a solid night in the net. These backup goalies need to come out solid. They want to impress their coaches for their chance to play in the playoffs. So I do think Swarman comes out strong, but I do think Sam Montembeault comes out strong again, you guys. He looked really solid last night. I think Montreal has every chance to pull off the upset. You guys know I'm sprinkling at plus 270, but I'm going to hit them plus 1.5 on that puck line for the long shot parlay. The Florida Panthers and the Carolina Hurricanes. The Panthers are at home in this one. They want this win tonight so freaking badly, because if they win this, they don't have to face the Boston Bruins in the first round of the playoffs. It is their only chance to make it out of the first round if they don't have to face Boston. If they have to face Boston, they won't. I don't even think they go 4. I think they get swept versus the Boston Bruins. So they want to face the winner of the Metro. Give me the Florida Panthers here tonight. It is one of my favorite bets of the night, the Florida Panthers at minus 110. That is a best bet tonight. If they can't win this, you guys, right away, take Boston in 4. I do think Boston gets it done. They win each and every game in that 7-game series. They only have to win the first 4, and then they get a break until the next round of the playoffs. So I do expect that to happen if the Panthers do not win this game tonight. So the Panthers at minus 110. If they take on the winner of the Metro, they do have a fighting chance. I do expect higher scoring ones if they face off with the New Jersey Devils. But I do expect lower scoring games if they face off in the first round of the playoffs versus the Carolina Hurricanes. So that is what I'm looking at for the first round of the playoffs for these couple of teams here. But for this long shot parlay, the Florida Panthers at minus 110. The Detroit Red Wings and the Tampa Bay Lightning. The only way I can take this is the Red Wings plus 1.5, you guys. I'll throw that into the parlay. It is not my favorite bet of the day. We've got the Red Wings not playing for anything. We have the Lightning not playing for anything, sitting solid at third seed in the Atlantic. So if you want to take it, look for the Red Wings to at least dig a little deep. And I know we've got backup goalies on both sides. So I do expect the goals to come in by both of these teams at total 6.5. And look at the first period over more so than the full game. I love the first period overs lately as these teams dig deep to start these games. The New Jersey Devils, like I said, they are fighting for the Metro. And I do think they come out and get this win. We'll take the Devils on the money line for the parlay. Too juicy is straight up. I like the Devils team total. This is one of my best bets. Over 3.5 because the Devils winning games, they have to score 3 or 4 goals. They're not winning games by scoring 2 and locking down defensively. So I do think the Devils to get this win. It could be a 4-3 win here. The Washington Capitals, I do expect Ovechkin to come out strong on home ice tonight, find the back of Vanacek's goal. Now, Jack Hughes, like we said back in November, his first ever NHL hat trick came versus the Washington Capitals. Could he get it again? God, you guys, the odds of that would be absolutely fantastic. I love him for the anytime goal tonight. We're getting him for the anytime goal with value. So look at that. He's one of my favorite bets. Jack Hughes for the goal, Ovechkin for the goal. I'm going to make a list of my favorite prop bets for you guys as well. So props. Jack Hughes in this one, anytime goal. Ovechkin, anytime goal. Next one on the board. We have the Ottawa Senators taking on the Buffalo Sabres. Now, the Buffalo Sabres are at home in this one, you guys. I'm going to ride them here on the money line. I'm going to take Buffalo at -140 for the parlay. I do think this is a good one for them to finish this season off strong at home. I would look at Brady Tkachuk on the other side of the puck for the Ottawa Senators for that anytime goal. I love what we saw out of him this season. I think that first period is high scoring. I take the over 1.5, both teams to score in the first period as well. I think is definitely a solid way to take this game. But I could see it staying under that total of 7 as defense is locked down to finish this game. So I'm not going to touch the full game total, but I will take the over 1.5 and both teams to score in the first period. We're going to take Brady Tkachuk for the anytime goal as well. The Pittsburgh Penguins taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Give me Sidney Crosby for the anytime goal for the Penguins. That put there. And then I do think the Penguins get the win. I'll take the Penguins here on the money line for the parlay. I think they have a solid game, but my favorite bet of this one, just give me the over 6.5. High scoring game in this one. Both teams to score in the first period. A little questionable. I do think over 1.5 is the better way to go. We look at the Penguins in the last 10 games versus Columbus. They average 4.3 goals per game. So if you want to write the Penguins team total over that 3.5, I think it is another solid way to go. We did see us trying to hit them over 3.5 in that game against Chicago that they absolutely needed the win and they weren't able to get it done and Chicago won. So I'm a little gun shy, but I do think they want to finish this season on a positive. They get the win, they go over, and this game goes over as well. The Toronto Maple Leafs and the New York Rangers, meaningless game here, you guys. I caution you guys for betting this with Wool confirmed in goal. Even though he has played phenomenal, I do think the Rangers get the win on the money line. I'll throw that into the parlay. The Rangers on the money line at -125. Rangers are at home, and the Leafs have struggled in the Garden. The Minnesota Wild and the Nashville Predators. I do think the Preds get the win here. The Preds, another team not making the playoffs, first time in a while. So give me the Preds on the money line to finish strong at home with Saros single. The Minnesota Wild sitting nice and third in that Central. Not really anywhere that I can see they can go. And people keep saying they can go somewhere. It's just, I don't understand that. There's just not enough games. This is their last game. They can't get the points there. The Winnipeg Jets and the Colorado Avalanche. I think the Avs in the first period. I'm going to take the Avs first period money line for the parlay. Like you guys said, lots of players sitting for the Winnipeg Jets. More coming out as we go through this show. David Reach is my biggest concern here. Richie, he hasn't played for 3, 4, maybe even 5 weeks. Probably not 5, at least 3 weeks for the Winnipeg Jets. I do expect Colorado fighting for this Central Division to get the win in this game. Minus 190, you guys know I can't take it. I will take the Avs on the money line. Sorry. For the parlay, my favorite bet of this game and my favorite bet, one of my best bets of the day, is the Avs first period. Laying that puck line of a half a goal in the first period at plus 130. I can't believe we're getting plus money, which then scares me. You guys know that. The St. Louis Blues and the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars, another team wanting this Central win. I'm going to take the Stars on the money line for the parlay. But for best bet, I do think the Stars team total over 3.5 at minus 146 is absolutely phenomenal. The over 1.5 in the first period. The last time these teams played, 4 goals were scored in that first period, 2 apiece. So I do think we see the goals come early, but by the Dallas Stars, I don't see Jake Ottinger letting these goals in easily. Now, Jordan Binnington is another question mark for the St. Louis Blues. I do see the Stars getting up on him fast. So I would take the Stars on the money line for the full game, the over 1.5 in the first period, and the Stars team total over 3.5. The Philadelphia Flyers and the Chicago Blackhawks. You guys, I love a home dog. Give me the Blackhawks here for the parlay. Let's take them plus 1.5. We're going to pay juice on that, but that's within the parlay versus the Philadelphia Flyers. I think the Blackhawks, though, better bet is to take them on the money line. I think they get the home win today. I don't trust the Flyers, and the Flyers really have bit us this year. The Chicago Blackhawks at home, I think, is a solid bet. The San Jose Sharks and the Edmonton Oilers. You guys, the Edmonton Oilers need this win tonight. They are a dangerous team, and they definitely can get up really fast in this game. I worry about that puck line cover in case they become complacent at the end, because they have wrapped things up and they allow that that backdoor cover to come in where the San Jose Sharks score late and screw us out of the puck line win for the Edmonton Oilers. So that is my fear with the puck line. I'm going to stay off the puck line because of it. I'm going to take the first period over 1.5. Both teams to score in the first period, I do think is solid as well. We saw the Sharks go up versus Calgary in the first period. I think Edmonton is probably up 2-1 in that first period. I expect the goals in the first period, but I do expect both of these teams to score. So both teams to score in the first period over 1.5. The Sharks and the Oilers over 1.5 in the first period will be into the parlay. Lots of games today, you guys. The LA Kings and the Anaheim Ducks. The Kings need this win? Not really. Sitting third in the Pacific, really can't go anywhere. They will be taking on whoever wins the Pacific. That's either going to be Vegas or Edmonton. So what are we going to see out of the Kings tonight is a huge, huge question mark. The Anaheim Ducks. Their last game, the Ducks have lost their last 13 versus the Western Conference. What I am confident in is Korpisalo again in this game. Look at this goalie. He has Copley wanting the starting goalie role. He wants the starting goalie role. Again, I think we have a solid night out of him. I do think we could see the defense letting up a little bit, playing more freely in this game. The Ducks getting more ability to get those shots on goal. So I will take Korpisalo over his, I believe it's 24.5. What is it? 24.5 save shots on goal at minus 106 is one of my favorite prop bets of the day. Over 24.5. I'm going to sprinkle it plus 1,100 on the shutout. You guys, can you get 2 shutouts in a row? The chances are really slim, but if I don't hit it again today, I'm going to be kicking myself if he comes out and gets another shutout here. Now, the Ducks, they're the Ducks. They've lost their last 12. It's time to go golfing. They shouldn't be quacking. Could they pull it off? If they pull it off, it's like a 1-0 game. Honestly, I just don't see it happening. Now, the Vancouver Canucks and the Arizona Coyotes. The theme of this one is hit me just one more time. Arizona Coyotes, favorite bet of the day at plus 125 for the Coyotes. I do think we have to ride with them. They've been too good to us. Clayton Keller for that anytime goal as well. Not one of my favorites today, but I do think Vancouver, even though they want to end the season on a high note with the coaching changes, they have been playing better, but we can't fade the Coyotes at home in this game. For the parlay, I'll take the Coyotes at plus puck line at plus 1.5. Don't take that straight up, though. It's way too much juice. And then Vegas and Seattle. You guys are telling me Jack Eichel is out. Terrifies me. This game goes to OT. Okay? Jack Eichel in or out. This game goes to OT. It's my favorite bet of the day, Vegas and Seattle to go to overtime. Vegas can push this to overtime. They get the 1 point. They wrap up the Pacific. It is totally fine. Okay? They prefer to win it. Absolutely. But Seattle, they struggled versus Vegas, but I do think we see the best out of them tonight. So I was going to take Jack Eichel for the anytime goal, but if he's now out, we can't do that. I am cautious about taking this one under because I do think it will be a 3-2 lead for Vegas. Seattle ties it up. We go to OT, and that pushes us to 7, which pushes us over the total 6. So that's what I am liking. I'm going to leave this one out of the parlay. I don't want to put an OT bet into the parlay, although it will increase your odds phenomenally, but we're not going to do it. And so the long shot dream parlay, and then I'll do a 2-leg, 3-leg parlay for you guys. Montreal plus 1.5 on the puck line. The Panthers at minus 110 on the money line. The Red Wings minus 1.5 or plus 1.5 on that puck line. The Devils on the money line. The Buffalo Sabres on the money line. The Pittsburgh Penguins on the money line. The Rangers on the money line. The Predators on the money line. The Avs on the money line. The Stars on the money line. The Blackhawks plus 1.5. The Oilers game over 1.5 in the first period versus the Sharks. The Coyotes puck line plus 1.5. So a 2-leg parlay for Edward was asking for it. I would take Montreal plus 1.5 on the puck line and the Coyotes plus 1.5 on that puck line. I think both of those teams have the ability to keep it tight. If you're looking for better odds, I would take the Florida Panthers on the money line and then Devils on the money line. We're going to do a 3-leg for this one. And then the Penguins on the money line. So that 3-legger is the Panthers money line, the Devils money line, the Penguins on the money line. The 2-legger is Montreal plus 1.5 on the puck line, Coyotes plus 1.5 on the puck line. Favorite bet of the day is Vegas and Seattle to go to OT. Okay. Then the Coyotes on the money line at plus 125. Home dog, you guys. The Avs, first period, laying a half a goal on that puck line at plus 130. The Panthers at minus 110. The Devils team total over 3.5. And you guys know I'm sprinkling Montreal on the money line. I like it better than the puck line. If you want to do one bet or the other, it's just a nice little sprinkle there. The prop bets that I love today, Jack Hughes for the anytime goal, Ovechkin for the anytime goal, Brady Tkachuk for the anytime goal, Sidney Crosby for the anytime goal, and Corpusalo over 24.5 save shots on goal with a sprinkle on that shutout again. If he can only do it again. You guys, that was it for Puckett with Joe. I see all of your comments coming in here. Benji, I did not see that. I try to watch him a lot. That is absolutely fantastic. If Eichel is playing tonight, why not sprinkle on that hat trick? Can we sprinkle Jack Hughes for the hat trick as well? Well, I guess we can. No one's telling us we can't. I'm going to sprinkle both of those guys if Eichel is in. In the playoffs. Oh, he'll get a hat trick in the playoffs for sure. Just depending. If he takes on the Edmonton Oilers, definitely could see that hat trick coming in. Vegas taking on the Kings, Jack Eichel would have a lot harder time to get the hat trick. I would really see him struggling versus the Kings. So that will be really interesting there. Gotta love the payday bonuses. Absolutely. Okay, you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. Asking here, Boomer asking the Stars and the Devils in regulation. I like the Stars and the Devils in regulation. I just take Stars and Devils on the money line. If you're going to parlay that, you'll get probably 2-1 for your money there. You are welcome, Edward. You guys, I want to thank you each and every one of you for being here every day. My heart is so full that I get to do this show with you daily. I really made sure that I've limited sponsorship on this show because I haven't wanted it to be changed in any way. You guys being here each day and me being able to interact with you and put on now an hour and 4 minute show, not being held to any time restrictions, is exactly what I want. So you guys have a fantastic day. Again, appreciate you guys. If you guys could hit that like button, that is all I ask. We will see you back here tomorrow. Small slate, last day of the regular season of NHL. It's going to be a hard one. I'm not going to lie. I really am going to miss the regular season, but we have some incredible hockey. If you haven't been watching and you've just been betting, wait till the playoffs. You've got to start watching these games. But if the Panthers lose tonight, please jump on the Boston Bruins in 4, okay? Before these lines move, you'll be able to get it tonight, and then it will start going away, the value on it. I do think Boston can take it in 4 over the Florida Panthers, because the Florida Panthers, if they lose tonight, will take on the Boston Bruins. So that is my early look ahead. It's going to be a freaking amazing playoff season. We got a couple more games tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Thursday night. I appreciate each and every one of you. Talk to you guys later. Bye now.